There's growing concern over the possibility of violence in KZN following national elections. 300 more police have been sent to the province as a result. Voice notes and social media posts have been doing the rounds, warning people of possible looting and unrest following the poll results. Newzroom Afrika's Nobletemudise joins us from Umlazi megacity, which was looted during the July 2021 unrest. Nobelte, good afternoon to you. If we go back 3 years to July 2021, obviously a lot of anxiety based on what transpired there. Are we facing situations of panic? What is the mood on the ground following these reports that are coming through?
Good afternoon, Hugo. On the ground, there are voice notes and social media posts that are circulating, alluding to the fact that there will be some sort of uprising as a result of those election results, but not pertaining to the election results only, but how, the matter with the IEC is being handled. And you'd know that the KwaZulu-Natal province is highly contested ground politically, and we saw those polls and what happened. And so far, we haven't seen, any uprising of any sort, but those voice messages that we speak of and those social media posts where people are saying that the police are being sent, for example, to the province to harass them, sending misinformation at some point, and there are those voice notes and those posts that are saying that people will go back onto the streets and, loot, as we saw in July 2021. Now, this particular mall where I'm standing at, the Umlazi megacity, was one of those that were looted badly. In fact, it was only refurbished just towards the end of last year, and that's why you see much activity. But before then, it was completely in a wreck, and it was refurbished and people started using it. And as a result, people of Umlazi were forced to go to other malls outside of Umlazi, like in Galleria, which is in Amazimtoti. But together with this mall, the Pilani Mall was also here in Umlazi looted. So you saw a number of such activities happening as a result of Jacob Zuma's, verdict in the courts in July 2021. And now we're seeing the same thing where they're saying those election results and the way the IEC is handling the matter is something that's going to let people go back onto the streets. But earlier I did manage to have a conversation with the Provincial Police Commissioner of the province, KwaMashu, and he was speaking to us mainly around the deployment of those 300 police officers into the province. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
Basically for us, the cry was that we cannot afford to have a province going back to the situation that we had a couple of years ago. You know what happened in the history of 2021. So the anger of people needs to be contained, and we as law enforcement alone cannot do that. We need leadership, political leadership, to take charge. And I'm glad that they did, and I'm proud of them that they did take charge. The challenge that the country faces now, by and large, of establishing new government, which has to be a government formed by different political parties, it's what we don't know what is going to be the outcome thereof. So everyone can speculate that when this party joins with that one, it might result into this. We don't know.
You've heard Lieutenant General KwaMashu just saying that they have engaged political leaders and they are quite happy with the fact that these leaders are able to go back onto the ground and speak to people and quell any sort of violence that's been threatened. He did also mention the fact that while we wait to usher in a new government, law enforcement still has a duty to continue with its mandate. Let's take a listen.
What we're comfortable about is that the law enforcement are not political parties. Security cluster is not a political organization. Government is still in charge of security of this country. So us as police, working with the entire security cluster, from the state security, intelligence community, the military, SNDF, who are on the ground and all over the province, they are available. And from the air, on the ground, they are with us. And to make sure that we keep peace and stability. We want to see government being formed and appointed, and they start operating and running the country the way they're supposed to.
Law enforcement is generally just readying itself for any sort of violence that may take place as a result of the post the elections, and we know that in response to that, this is what the police are planning. And Ntantla Mkhwanazi you've heard him say there that they are just making sure that nothing takes place in the province. We heard earlier when I managed to speak to some of the people here at the Umlazi Mega City that there was a high contingency of police presence here at the Umlazi Mega City, just to ensure that people don't loot, as the police are taking those threats of violence very seriously. Back to you, Hugo.